see what you've done in the last week.
Okay.
Nice. Well, let me grab mine.
Wait a minute, Tina. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to look at yours closer.
I did till I couldn't go anymore. See, there's just
That's perfect. Good job. Oh, I like your shuttle. It looks like something out of a Klingon ship.
except for it grabs when you go. You have to be careful. So I got it off of Etsy.
Beautiful. Let's see Gita's. That's lovely. So Gita missed the first part of the class, and she did that watching the video. So that's pretty cool. Anybody else?
Yes.
Can we see your work?
Sure.
All I see is your name.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to view and see if I can change it.
I was gonna say, I just sent
Oh,
you.
start my video?
Yeah, just
Oh, you're right. The video's off.
Oh, okay.
I've had quite a challenge.
Oh, you have one of those little inklets too.
Yes, I've had quite a challenge. I don't know if you can see what I've done. Two things. I developed pain in this thumb.
From the repetitive motion?
Yes, and I had it years ago spinning, and I stopped for a year spinning because of it. So I put ice on it, and I have been holding here and can you see I'm winding the yarn and holding it here and pulling. That's how I've done it because I can't use this thumb.
I'm sorry of that.
So am I, but I'm pursuing. I've got more of this to do. I did about 20 inches so far. So, and then the second challenge is this little guy won't hold still.
Yeah.
So I finally came to the conclusion yesterday that I need to put Velcro underneath it.
I have a friend who uses C-clamps from the hardware store.
I tried clamps. The clamp was too long. I could only fit it right here. I tried clamps. It just didn't work. You know, I wanted it here, and it just didn't work. It was in the way.
One of the gentlemen that I buy looms from puts a leg on the back that hooks over the edge of a table. So if you've got it in front of you, it'll just hook right over the edge of your table and you can pull against it.
I don't understand. Are you saying, oh,
can you
like
see this piece right here? Here, wait a second. I know another way to do it. Oh, technology. All right. So see this bit right here?
Yes.
That will hook over the end of the table if you're laying it on the table.
Yes.
And you can pull against it and it keeps it.
All right, that's
still.
a good idea.
Yeah.
The other thing about this particular one I made, I followed a pattern. I think it was a pattern you posted. And I only got this far because I had too many on here, and for what I wanted to do, it's going to be a leash. So I just reduced it.
That's fine.
That worked, but I don't think there's a lot of contrast between the two colors. I could have gone with different yarn. This yarn is not lightweight, so it's making little bumpies on the side.
As you get more experience in it, the bumpies will become smoother as you tug those edges in.
Well, it is getting a little better on this side than this side. I thought that was interesting. It's kind of like hand weaving, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, my spinning only produces novelty yarn. It has a lot of knots and bumps and funny edges to it.
I'll enjoy it. You know, when you get to a point where you're just spinning real fine, it's hard to go back to that. So enjoy.
Anybody else, Lee? Can you? I'm really kind of sad because Lee had a beautiful, beautiful piece, but he seems to be having trouble with his video. And that's sad.
Well, maybe if he drops out and then tries to come back in, because sometimes if settings are not quite right when you are in, you might be able to do it that way. But
Beautiful. Oh, hello. Okay, technology is new to me, but I just found the little blue pointy thing. And look, I can look at other people. I know. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. Anybody else have something that they want to show us? I think Lee was trying to come back in.
Mine's nothing special, but I did succeed in at least starting a little bit of just a tiny something.
Well done.
I didn't pick, I should have done the other color for my weft because I'm getting the little white spots on either side, but now I know and I won't do it again.
And you're learning. That's the whole point of it, was to learn how to do different things. All right, anybody else? More show and tell?
Yeah, this is mine. It's my colors.
Oh, I like that. I like the design you made.
Thank you.
See, that's the one thing when I first started, the first person who taught me to weave was very linear. So everything in their world was straight edged and symmetrical. And the first time I realized I could put whatever I wanted on that loom, it was like I was cheating. But sometimes not being symmetrical, you end up with really beautiful stuff. Perfect. So I'm going to weave a little bit on mine, and then I'm going to talk about how you finish off. Brilliant. So I'm going to change cameras. I'm not going away, I promise. So hello. Can everyone see it okay? See the loom?
yes, we can see the top part down to just below your knees there.
Perfect. So when you get to where you're done, there's several ways to go about finishing this off, depending upon what you're going to use this for. For example, if I'm done, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to tie it to this bit of string here, and I'm done. Or, for example, we talked earlier about if you were making a piece that needed a finished end, then you could carefully weave that little tail back in. So there's not a whole lot to that part. When you get to the point to where you need to move your thread, that's why it's really important to pay attention to how it's warped, so that you don't have any funny cross strings or you didn't tie anything to here. The first time I did that, I could not for the life of me figure out what was wrong with my loom. It wasn't my loom, it was me. Did anybody use string other than cotton string? Anybody use an acrylic yarn? Acrylic yarns are pretty, but they're hard to weave with because as you make the shed here, they like to knot themselves, and felt or just totally come apart. So after a while, it's really, really hard. Now, I've heard other people will treat it with fabric softener or that hair detangler, and that'll make it a little bit smoother. I just choose not to use the acrylic strings. I have woven with bamboo. Silk is lovely, but kind of picky. You have to be very, very careful about having smooth increments. For example, Tina's Shuttle would be miserable to try to use with silk because you got those little curvy edges they're going to catch and snag. So each of the different fabric types or different fiber types will have a different feel on the loom. Silk is also not cheap. Whereas the cotton stuff, I think I bought these cotton yarns probably on Amazon because they're in the color of a group that I play with. Oh, the other thing, does anybody else come up with rhymes? Like after, when I go down, I go right, so it's downright. Am I the only weirdo?
No, I say it out loud to myself too.
And that's one of the things that makes this easier than the tablet weaving, because if you forgot and you went down left, all you did was undo a stitch. It's not like you have to figure out how to fix it.
And Paula, I noticed that when you're putting the shuttle through, you're pulling the thread from the other side to help guide it, and does that help to keep it straight? And
I do. I use the edge of my shuttle to kind of rock, and then I help the end come in with my fingers, and you'll get the hang of that because it just helps you come up with smoother edges. I really strongly recommend that whatever color your weft thread is, and I remember that because it goes weft to right.
yes.
That be your edge thread, at least for the first couple of projects, because then I think it was, oh, I don't see her name on there. Beth? Yeah, I think it was Beth who used
Yep,
a different
sure.
color than her edges. And so it makes these little lumps right here very, very, very obvious.
And you said that loom there can weave up to 8.5 feet. Is that what you said?
120 inches, yeah.
Oh,
And you know how I know that? Can you see it?
yes,
It's got my name and how long it is.
yes.
And I figured out how to do that. I have it on all the looms, my big floor looms. Yeah, because otherwise I'm like, oh, that one, how big is, you never remember how
Right.
big something is.
If you have more than one, I could see how, yeah, you might
And I
not.
learned to write my name on them because I'm forever lending them out. And then people know who it needs to go back to.
I have a question about the length of it.
Yes, ma'am.
When I bought this, it said 70 inches is how long. But I realized in doing this that a lot of that 70 inches is taken up in the beginning.
It depends upon how neat you are when you tie those beginning knots. But yeah, you're going to lose probably 5 to 6 inches there at the beginning.
That's what I
And
thought.
especially then when you get to here, because when this gets all the way around to this part, so that all of this is my finished product, at some point I can't advance anymore. And so I'm going to lose that amount of length as well. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
So yeah, it is not an exact science. I tend to hold mine with my feet. So even if I'm teaching a class somewhere or I'm at an event where I'm weaving, I have to take my shoes off.
I'm assuming that you can probably hold it more steady that way anyway. And how long does it usually take you to, if you're going to weave that whole length?
To be real honest, probably 3 episodes of Called Midwife,
That's a perfect way to time it.
because I'll warp up the loom and then I'll just sit there and binge watch something on television. Does anybody have any questions for me at all?
Mhm.
Hello, there I am. If you give me a minute, I might be able to find Lee's picture. I just feel so bad. He did such beautiful work.
Well, we do have a question here from Tina asking how to take it off and finish it.
I'm going to do that right this second.
Okay.
I can't figure out how to get back. Oh, there I am. Now I don't know how to, give me a minute.
Are you wanting to screen share or are you wanting to just, let me see.
Ah. I wasn't able to get the picture. I'm so sorry. Let me try one more time. Nope, it's just not going to do it. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to copy and paste because he sent me the picture in a message. It's just beautiful.
Well, if you find later that you're able to do that, then maybe you can post it into the group, or Lee, maybe you can post the picture yourself into the Inkle class Facebook event, so then we can all see it later.
Oh, that's a shame. All right, to answer your question about how to finish it off, it depends upon what you're doing with it. If you are making trim that you're going to put on a garment, then the ends can be overlapped or they can be hidden in a seam. So what the ends look like doesn't really matter. But if you're making an item where the ends do matter, let's say that you're going to use it as a belt, so you want some fringe, then that would determine how you're going to change or how you would want to finish that off. So give me a minute. So for example, if I'm done, but I want fringe here, first off, when I tied it on, I'm gonna leave myself that area. So I'm gonna start and leave some there so I can have the fringy bits hanging off. So what I would do is I would just bring this in, and most likely, if I'm gonna use this part of the fringe, I'm just gonna tie it right here to this white thread. And then I'm gonna cut the threads and I'm done.
So you're tying it off to the last thread that's closest to the shuttle
Yep.
on the outside there?
To the last thread right here. And then at the beginning when we started, here's my beginning. Then I would have needed to leave myself, and this is my beginning thread. I would do the same thing. I would tie it there. Now, if I'm going to give this to somebody as a finished piece, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to very carefully weave my little end thread back in and clip it so that my end thread stays within my warp. So it just depends upon what your goal is or what you want out of your finished product.
I'm making a leash for the dog, and I don't need the fringe. How would I finish it?
What I would do if I were going to turn this into a leash, I would tie this right here. And then I would probably just turn this edge under like you would for a seam and stitch it.
Okay.
You can even stitch this on a sewing machine because I have attached woven pieces to many a garment.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome.
I have another comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Online on YouTube, Curmudgeon, I think is his name, his title. He had a wedge-like device that he used in addition to the the shuttle.
Uh-huh.
And he used the wedge-like device to beat it. Have you ever done that?
I have not.
I have a comment.
Pardon?
I have a comment. If you want to keep your loom from slipping, you can get this like it's sold as a drawer liner, you know, to put in your drawers so things don't slip around. And you can use that on the bottom, and it can kind of minimize that movement of the loom.
Oh, kind of like the stuff you would put under a carpet.
Yeah, or a carpet. Or yeah, you can use it, but they sell it like, you know, at you can also get it at where you would get the drawers, lining for drawers.
I did exactly that. This is the stuff I used.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same idea.
It didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work.
Oh,
No, that little guy is just slippy slidey.
Huh.
I really think that the Velcro will work. If I put Velcro on the bottom
Yeah.
and another piece of Velcro, that's what I'm planning on doing.
I think it's because he's so lightweight.
I think so.
Yeah, but it would also be way more portable than, you know, the bigger looms I have.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's never stopped me. I've hauled my floor loom to baseball games and hockey games and yeah.
That's funny.
At one point, I had 5 children in my house and all of them were taking hockey lessons. So we would just pull up and unload because I'm going to be there for hours. And I would take my big loom in and they would all just wave at that weird woman over there.
Do you have a baby wolf?
No. Although speaking of big looms, I did inherit a large floor loom. It's probably 5 feet across, but I haven't played with it yet. Members of my extended family who were very strong of back brought it in for me because it's a big beast.
Okay, can I ask where you got your beater and shuttle combination from? Because I've broken mine and I can't find a replacement.
This guy,
Yes, that one.
to be real honest, I honestly don't know. I think this was one of the bunch. Blisso was a school teacher, and one of her shop teachers was looking to make money, and he made me a dozen shuttles. And that's why I think I got this one.
Ah, okay.
If you want to privately send me your address, I probably have 1 or 2 more rolling around and I can mail you one.
That's a very generous offer, but you should probably keep those for you.
Oh, believe me, I will never miss it. Part of the, I don't know what word to use. One of the outcomes of the pandemic has been, I have found lots of different type of merchants out there. And so if I think something's pretty, I'm in a financial position where I can more or less buy what I want. Oh God, I hope my children aren't listening. And so I've also discovered, like, when I buy the silk thread from Eowyn de Weaver, I'm not sorry, that sounded like a commercial. It comes on tubes that don't always hold up well. And so I'll take the silk thread off the tube and I'll put it on a shuttle. And I'll use that to hold my thread.
I think there's a lot of quiet contemplative weaving going on right now.
Uh-huh. Kind of like when the food shows up at a feast.
Right.
Everybody stops talking.
Yeah, that's when you know it's good. So how do you know how tight to pull when you're pulling your shuttle through?
You want to make sure that you don't have a loop left of your weft thread,
Ah, okay.
like right on here.
Yes.
You want it to be smooth, but that's also a thing of preference. So Uni and I once warped looms at the same time, and we both basically warped the same pattern. And I ended up with something that looked like this, and Unrock's is about 1/2 inch wide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because he would just beat that down.
Yeah.
So that's just a personal preference thing.
Okay.
I'm working on a tablet weaving right now, which is why I'm not weaving along with you all because my room is busy.
Quite all right.
A two-sided tablet weaving with words and such. And I've discovered that if I don't pull it like really super uber tight, the underneath color shows through. So I'm because I started out doing looser things. I'm struggling a little bit with the extremely uber tight tension necessary for a double weave.
Yeah. My my next weaving project is going to be a tablet woven belt. Okay, just to chase a rabbit for a minute. I found a picture of a tablet, a weaving tablet, the card that had a curse written on it.
Oh, wow.
And so as the person was weaving her bit, she wove a curse into the finished product. And so mine's not going to have a curse on it. Mine's going to have words that the recipient of the belt chose, but that's going to be my next.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
I've been
that's awesome.
I've been forbidden to use the power tools. So other members of my extended family have cut my wood weaving tablets for me because apparently I was scary.
What is the advantage of using tablets? Or cards?
You can end up with incredible patterns. The tablet weaving class is at 3, Dolores.
Yes, yes, it is.
And this gives you just 2 sides, an up and a down, right? But a tablet, most cards have 4 holes to them. And as you turn the card, then it gives you a different face, if you will. Am I making any sense?
Oh, yes.
So each turn of the card gives you a different warp, if you will. And so when you've got all of those cards, and some of the hexagon cards that I've seen pictures of extant pieces, they'll have 8 holes on them. And so that just gives you an incredible amount of options then for your warp and for your pattern. Some of them are just incredibly intricate and beautiful. I am not that skilled.
I won't be able to go to the 3 o'clock class, but will it be recorded?
Yes, I'm actually hosting that class as well, and we will record that one too.
And can I see it without actually signing up for the class, or do I have to sign up for the class?
No, it will be posted to, as a matter of fact, let me post the link in the chat to the February YouTube channel. So this is where we're uploading all of the videos for all of the classes. So let me do
Okay,
that really quick, and I will
thank you.
share that with the group. Oh, no problem.
I am so sorry. I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Oh, no.
Did you get your question answered?
Absolutely, thank you.
Don't go away.
And there is the link to the YouTube channel. And I believe it's also linked in the main February event, Facebook event.
I'm very sorry. I thought I knew what it was. There's a fun book called Applesies and Fox Noses.
Okay.
And it's the book I started with for tablet weaving. There's some by Peter Collingwood that are really good for tablet weaving.
I was gonna say, I have one, I think that's been around for a long time.
Yep.
This
I have that one.
Candace Crockett one. And then for those that are in the group that are in the SCA, one of the old tournaments illuminated, the number 189 from 2014 also has how to make the patterns, make your own patterns so that you can do different patterns. What the name of that book was, Sam? Apple Noses?
Applesies and Fox Noses.
Ah,
I don't have my phone or I'd Google it.
that's what I'm trying to do now.
You can buy it directly from the printer, from the publisher. If you try to buy it on Amazon, it's like $150.
If it's Appleseas and Fox Noses finished tablet weavings, I'm seeing one right now in paperback for $40.42.
That's a screaming deal.
So I'm going to also drop that in the chat, and then that way, if somebody wants to get it, they can, or they can search someplace else. But
Yep.
And then all of these links that we're talking about during the class, I'll make sure that we upload them, or that I'll upload them into the chat afterward. I mean the group.
Frieza put it in there too.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. I will add that to the list that will be posted.
There's also another book called Weave Me a Message. And it's how to weave letters.
Oh, wow.
And the interesting, and I have no idea if this is true or not, this was the story I was told when I ordered my copy, is when you order your copy, the woman who published it gets on her bicycle, rides her bicycle down to the local, Home Depot or Office Depot or whatever, copies the book and mails it to you. Yeah, so.
That's the one I'm currently using for the project I'm currently doing.
Oh, cool. Weave Me a Message. That's
Yes,
awesome.
ma'am. Our kingdom has a recognition called the Order of Courtesy, of Grace and Courtesy, Gratia Comcas. And I am making the tokens for that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, since we're now chasing another rabbit, I recently downloaded a cross stitch pattern for.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. For a night on a charger outside of a castle that I think would be a perfect youth combat token.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Because I remember when I wore the hat, I would give my champions a belt favor or something. And I thought that would be. So, hey, great granddaughter.
Yes. I was just.
If you would like youth combat tokens, let me know.
Okay. Hey, that sounds like an excellent idea. Like when we made the little tabards for them to when they go out and fight at war, so they could participate with that. That was fun. Is anybody in the group here not in the reenactment? Are they just stopping in to take the class?
I'm not.
Oh, but you've been to enough classes that you know what we're talking about with the medieval reenactment things that we do, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
And in reference to the tablet weaving, at Convergence, I saw something I'd never seen before, where the weaver had taken on the loom and used the tablets. I thought it was amazing, in sections.
Oh, so you could then end up with a very unique pattern.
Oh, it was just amazing.
So if you did it right, you could like weave ships at sea. Because this group here would be my ocean bits, and then this group here would be my sailing ships, and this group here would be my sky.
Okay. Charge on.
Am I that good? No, I'm not that good.
Okay, that sounds fabulous.
Yeah, I'm not that good. I'm working on just diagonals.
I'm pretty sure I don't have the vocabulary for something like that.
I wouldn't know how to do it. Yeah. I think what I like about the Inkle weaving is you can pick it up and put it down. You don't have to remember which card needs to go which way next. I think that would be my biggest drawback to tablet weaving.
Yeah, you would definitely have to make yourself a note, kind of like when you're trying to do really intricate cross stitching or something like that on a place marker. Yeah, because I found with just what I'm working with here, if I missed and forgot to go up or down one time, it just undoes that one stitch, so that's easy to fix.
Right. Yeah.
Forgiven.
So it's not like, you're almost finished with the Afghan and then discovered you dropped a stitch 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've been tablet weaving for a long time. Part of the reason for tuning into this class was to look into the Inkle side of things. So I'm at this point in time, I'm just watching because because my loom is busy. But well, and I have a number of looms, but none of them that are really portable enough for what I need. We just moved, and moving is a low quality recreational experience.
Yes.
And so the one loom that I have regular handy access to is a two-sided that I got from 2-ply, and it's really a very nice loom, and it's very portable, but it will do a finished length of 113 inches. Quite nice. And as soon as I finish with the project I'm working on, I'll be picking up Inkle. So I'm haunting your class.
It's quite all right. I'd love to see what you do. I think that will be the fun thing about Fibrary is maybe in March or April, seeing everybody's finished products.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited for some of these things.
Yeah. In fact, one of my coworkers who's so no way related to the Society for Creative Anachronism is taking my reliquary bag class because she thinks they're fun. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I haunted that class too. It was really a fun class.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. My garb class was supposed to be Friday, but it will be next Friday because now I have a new computer.
Technology is a good thing, usually.
I get frustrated that so much of my life is controlled by something that I can accidentally unplug. That was one of the hardest parts in my career was when we went from paper charting to computer charting. And that was a big jump for a bunch of us.
Well, and for those of us who learned to type on a manual typewriter, which okay, I'm old. I'll own that. I'm old. Your keyboard really doesn't appreciate the force with which you have learned to type.
Correct. I can remember when they brought in the first word processor. It was my first job at university the first time, so it was quite some time ago. And there was whiteout on the screen because somebody hadn't figured out that you had to hit the backspace button to erase your letters.
Yike.
They were trying
Our
to
IT guy.
Yeah.
Our IT guy reminds me that violence is not the answer.
No, but
He's wrong.
It can make you feel so much better.
I can't tell you the number of people that I know that work in IT that have wanted to have that office space moment where they take it out into the desert and beat it with a baseball bat.
There was a time when I was at university where I wanted to take an AK-45 to the mainframe. And I knew where it
the
was.
value of that.
I knew where it was too.
Or where you learn to make Christmas wreaths out of the used key punch cards.
I did that.
Yep.
I did that. Yep.
My mom told me when I was a baby, she was key punching for my dad's thesis for his research. And I was like in the stroller while she was key punching for that.
Wow.
And university, the first time for me was the University of Arizona in Tucson. So a large Hispanic Latino population. And I don't remember their official name, but there's a special kind of egg that they make where they hollow the egg and then they fill it with confetti. So the coworkers would take the little key punch bits that ended up in that big drawer and use those as confetti.
I'm going to leave now. Thank you very much for a wonderful introduction to this.
You are most welcome. I hope you do well and enjoy it. And if not, you'll find something else.
Oh, I have several looms and knitting machines and spinning wheels. So I have lots of things to do, but I can only do one thing at a time. So thank you again.
It was delightful to make your acquaintance.
Thanks.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Yeah, I was hoping one of the side effects of my COVID vaccinations was I would grow Shiva arms, but I didn't.
I know so many people that are disappointed that they don't have superhero powers now,
I know, I didn't get a third eye,
right?
none of that.
Well, I'm making some progress, but it's definitely, I need the, perfect my technique. It's a little wibbly wobbly at the beginning, but
Okay,
I'm making a thing.
that's what counts.
I think the last time that I actually did this was when you taught a class over at your house.
Oh, yeah?
I borrowed one of your looms to make something, and that first thing that I made, it ended up being a belt favor that Bob wears still.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the Inkle class. I show some of the belt favors
Oh yes, yeah.
from when I was wearing the hat.
Yeah, that's a great thing about this being recorded, is if there's, especially there's, if there's something that is said or instructed, you can pause it and look at the image. So I've done that. I did that to get this worked last night. All right, like I said, it's a little wibbly wobbly, but I have the beginnings of a thing.
Good job.
Yay.
And see the white bumps that you have
Yeah,
on the edges?
right.
So if you used blue thread, you wouldn't see those bumps.
Ah, okay, yes.
So that I usually suggest that your weft thread be the same color as those outside warp threads, at least for
Yeah.
the first couple of.
So what actually happened was I had to get a couple of extra colors because I didn't have the light dark enough to be able to do that. And so I just got something off of Amazon because it was going to come in a couple of days, and there wasn't quite enough to warp the whole thing and then use that same on the side as the weft. So I picked a color that was a close colored yellow to the yellow that's on the inside. So
And then once
coordinating.
Once you're comfortable with the process of weaving,
Mhm.
you can experiment with different threads. For example, the weft thread doesn't have to be the same as the warp threads. It
Oh,
can be thinner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bridget Bridget did a project she showed me where the weft thread was horsehair.
Oh, wow. Oh, have you ever woven with linen thread? Because I have some linen yarn, and I haven't really done anything with it. I bought it because it was really pretty colors, and I haven't really done anything with it yet. And I was wondering if that would work on something like if you're making a belt, because then you wouldn't have to worry about it shrinking.
Yeah, I have not. I would worry that it's going to bleed some of its dye.
Ah, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Because I had that happen in garments with linen fabric, where it was beautiful blue, and then so were a lot of other things in the wash load, including other parts of that garment.
Yeah, I've had the opposite of that happen, where it's the linen in the garment that I didn't wash with hot water first.
Yeah.
And I made the garment and had a light colored yoke, which then picked up some of the black that was floating around in the wash,
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Had one of the knights point out to me that the linen is supposed to be a dry clean only fabric. It evidently says it on the side of the board when you buy it. I've always washed my linen, so
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
and typically I will get the linen and then wash it in the hottest water that I can and dry it hot so that it is going to do all the shrinking before we, even cut out anything. And then usually you can just throw it in the wash with a regular, as a regular load, and it's fine.
give it some idea of what to expect out of its life.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember, I think it was a baronial project, washing an entire bolt of linen at the laundromat.
Yeah, it helps if you have, you at least need one other person when you've got 10 or 20 yards that you're putting in the laundromat. Yeah, there were several of us there that day, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, and because it gives you a workout when you have to take it out and straighten it out and then put it back in. It's heavy,
yeah. And it took forever to dry.
right? Well, if nobody has any more questions, or if you don't have any more instruction, then I will go ahead and stop the recording. And then people can, hang out if they want to. And the next class that starts this afternoon starts at 3. That's the tablet weaving class with Bridget.
Perfect.
So did you have anything else to add, Sam?
I don't. I really look forward to seeing people's projects as they finish them.
Same here. And even mine might be wibbly wobbly. I'll still post a picture of it because I know that I'm not the only person out there that, is
And
starting
for your first project, way to go.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
exactly. All right.